All right, so this next topic, I'm just gonna surprise you, bro.
All right.
All right, what do you think about texting game when you first match with someone on a dating app, and then you have to text them for a period of time, then you finally meet up with them? What do you think about that?
Mm, I honestly don't know. I feel like there's like two main ways to approach it. Like either be like straight up so you're not wasting time and then getting straight to the point, or you could just beat around the bush and kind of just like figure things out like slowly.
What do you mean by figure? Like keep texting them
Yeah, just like
until
kind
you meet
of
them?
keep texting them until like they feel comfortable,
But
which
don't you
I
think
think that wastes a lot of time. I
really?
don't know. Yeah.
So how? What's like the threshold? Like, are we talking about like texting them for 2 weeks, just solely texting
Yeah.
and no video call or video chat?
I don't know. I'm not that good of a texter. If anything, I'll just be like straight up like uh I would rather like call them, you know. So like I feel like
But what do you think about like girls who are like, "What the fuck? Why'd you call me?" Because
then
that does happen.
I'd be like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like you could text but you can't talk? Like is your mouth like sewed up or some shit? Like what the fuck?
Okay.
You know, like why can't you talk? Like
But what if like some girls are just they're really creeped out about talking on the phone?
I'd be like, get over it. I just called you. What are you gonna do now? Hang up? And then text me. That's like a problem we encounter with the younger generations nowadays, right? Where people are just so used to just like texting instead of calling. But like for me, like when I was like when I was talking to a few girls, like I would tell them like, "Oh, you know, like I'm not a good texter. I'd rather just talk to you over the phone." And like if they got creeped out, I'd be like isn't texting the same thing as calling? Like, you know, like well, what is it like? What are you creeped out about? And then they're like, oh, like sometimes they would just say, oh, like I don't know you that well, or like I'm not comfortable yet, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but we've been like texting for a couple of days. What do you mean? You know, like I don't know. I feel like there's like the generation like gap or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I definitely do think that a woman should protect herself
Mm-hmm.
because there are a lot of creepers out there. But there's also a lot of good guys out there. Majority of guys are good. And I'm not saying don't protect yourself, but if you're so cautious to a point where you're texting someone for so long, then you might be wasting your time every single time. So think about it like each cycle you match with someone new, you have to text them for like, I would say like the average that I personally experience, I would talk to a girl on text for a week until she's ready to like hang out. But does that really justify, me talking to her on text for 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
or 1 week? Does that really justify her and being thinking, okay, I'm safe with this guy? Do you
Mm.
think that justifies it? She kind of gets a feel of like what my personality, things I say on text for like a week or 2 weeks is good enough to meet up with me.
It depends on the type of people that you're talking to, because some people, like some girls, like would rather video chat or call instead of texting
Very
as well.
rare, right?
Yeah, very rare. But
That,
there are some cases where it's like they're not trying to waste their time either.
yeah.
But that's like very few cases.
And I would say like that's a good point you brought up about wasting time because we all don't have that much time. Everyone's fucking busy.
Hmm.
And if you're spending 2 weeks each time, even a week each time texting the same person, maybe texting like you have 5 people in your database that you're texting. You have to text them each a week or at least two
That's a
weeks
lot of time.
until you meet with them.
Hmm.
But what about like just like a voice call, right? Like you really get a sense of how a person is the most with a
Quicker,
voice
right?
call,
Like,
right? But even with our generation, when I tried calling, just my experience, text for a little bit, probably text for a few days. I'd call, and then they would think like it's weird, or I asked them if I could call them, and they would think it was just weird. Majority of girls think it's weird to talk on the phone if you haven't met the person. But I'm just thinking about like if you go from texting, then you meet them right away, you're committing yourself to like a date. And then when you commit yourself to that date, you're wasting what, like at least like 1 hour, 2 hours on that date
And money.
and money. Well, let's be real. A girl doesn't have to spend shit.
Yeah, your money. Yeah.
But a
Yeah.
guy, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying like the girl usually decides
Mm-hmm.
because many guys are okay with talking on the phone, but the girl isn't.
Mm.
They would prefer a text 1 week or 2 weeks at least. I even have heard some guy talking to one of our close friends. He talked to a girl in Seattle, because we're in California. They talked for like almost 2 months before they finally met up with each other. And then he would like complain to me at times. He would go like, "Dude, it's kind of getting whack, man. We're running out of things to talk about." It's like we just
Yeah.
we've hit that wall where it's like we just need to meet to see how we
Mm-hmm.
are in real life. And then he's like, I'm literally just talking to her right now, just because if I stop talking to her, then I feel like we're just gonna lose our snowball.
So let me ask you this. So like he's been talking or texting to her for a month and it hasn't like transitioned or like leveled up to a point where like, oh, okay, it's okay to call every night or
Yeah,
it's
so
okay to FaceTime every night, you know? It's never gotten to that point. It's just texting, texting, texting.
yeah, that's a good point. Well, they did start talking on call,
Okay.
so I think that's what sustained it. But if they were just texting the whole time,
Yeah.
they would have been done
Yeah,
already
yeah.
within
Like
like
I
a
was
month.
like, I'm not
They
gonna
would
waste
be.
that much time, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
but even with call, he was
hmm
like, "Dude, it's getting into a point where like we don't even know what to talk about." And then I was like, "Well, I was thinking if you guys were only texting this whole time," and she kept saying like, "Oh, I'm only okay with texting. I think you guys would be done by now."
yeah, cause like
Right?
I feel like in that position, she's trying to like hold you, you know, like just like put you like kind of in your place where like she has other options or like she doesn't want to be
Maybe.
seen or heard talking to you, maybe.
Could
Yeah,
be.
but I'm not too sure about that.
Or it's also like probably like because she's like introvert, she doesn't want to talk on the phone.
Mm.
And I think if you're introvert and you don't want to talk on the phone, you still have a responsibility to like, like not waste other people's time or,
Mm.
kind of make this like free flowing a little bit more. If you're just always limiting like, hey, like I just want to text.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, come on, like think about it. Like in our parents' generation, did anyone fucking text?
No.
Texting started becoming popular in like the 2000s when
Yeah.
everyone was on their sidekicks in
The flips.
2006.
Yeah.
They were like all texting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, you didn't see that in our parents' generation, like 1980s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when they were 20,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't use texting.
It was
They
all
would call like landlines,
yeah.
and then so if you want to bitch about like, oh, well, I'm an introvert girl. Well, there's a lot of introvert girls back then. How do you think they got their fucking
Mm-hmm.
thing handled, their
Yeah.
relationship handled? So I think like calling is pretty important, but in another sense,
You got to figure out like that time period from texting to calling and when it's gonna be comfortable for her, right?
yeah, I think it's just like about like the mindset of like making transitioning this from having the capability from text to call. But
Mm-hmm.
people talk about, oh, we're busy now in this modern generation, so we don't have enough time to call. Well, I don't think that should be an excuse. You have time to text like five different dudes. We have time as men to text five different girls.
Mm-hmm.
So are we just saying we're busy, or is just like an excuse,
Yeah.
right? So I think that also translates to the video that we talked about a few videos ago about why dating is failing
Mm-hmm.
because of hookup culture, and because this also translates to like the lack of ability to connect because everyone's just talking to so many different people at one
Yeah.
time
Mm-hmm.
that it's just like, bro, like if you have one person
Mm-hmm.
you're talking on the phone with before you guys start dating, you would get to know that person at a faster pace. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
if you use voice messages even, like that's why sometimes on like Hinge I
Oh
like
yeah,
to use.
you do that,
Yeah, now
huh?
now
Yeah.
Hinge just recently opened up voice messages, which is great.
Oh
And
sheesh.
then so when I text, my texting game is not good. So I just use voice messages, and then they're like, oh, this guy has a nice sounding voice. He doesn't sound like he's a creeper, and then they could hear more of my expressions through my voice. When I text, sometimes like I don't know, I sound a little fucking weird or boring or, I'm more enthusiastic on voice, so I think that kind of like allows people to be closer in that sense, like two people
Hmm.
that are looking to date or being interested in dating.
I could kind of relate to that, how like sending voice messages, you could kind of express yourself more instead of just typing in emojis like, oh, like happy face or like laughing face or whatever.
And you also have to like remember like maybe girl A, I typed like really enthusiastically with a lot of emojis, but
Hmm.
girl B doesn't use that much emojis. So I
Mm.
gotta be a little bit more formal or she's gonna think I'm fucking too enthusiastic or too weird.
Hmm.
Maybe girl C is like, you have to
Is
remember all these different things. And then, we already have too much things to keep track of in our personal life. So like when we have to remember, oh shit, like this person, how did this person text again? I have to kind of match that energy. And then so I think matching is someone's energy that we naturally try to do that on text, but
Hmm.
with a voice, you can't really match someone's voice, their energy on voice because you're literally just being yourself kind of.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes me and you, we could be hype. Like sometimes your laughs are fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be a hyper motherfucker.
Yeah.
But right now you're being like calm, right?
Hmm.
Maybe sometimes like that, but it's harder to do like with
Yeah.
voice. And I think that's why maybe this is like just like my thought, but like maybe some girls could probably like open up a little bit more. Maybe use like voice call.
Hmm.
Um doesn't have to be like a call, like because call it could be a little bit stressful sometimes, but it's also our duty to manage that stress. But if not, you could use voice message. Voice
Yeah.
message is a good alternative. And then instead of just thinking, if I know this guy for a longer period of time, it'll be safer. Like, for example, if I've been texting this guy for like a month, the chance of me getting kidnapped or, something bad happening to me, I'm not going to say the word because people get like really sensitive about that. But the chance of this happening to me is going to be a lot less likely if I text him for like a month, right? Say for example, like time doesn't necessarily correlate to your safety. For
But
example, like
girls kind of think that, huh?
like yeah, like for example, I'll bring in another topic. Like sometimes girls always go like, "Oh, I want to make you wait. I want to make this guy wait because
Oh.
because if I make him wait, we're more guaranteed to be official or something like that." But dude, some fuck boys have so much patience. They could be talking to a girl for like months, and then that fuck boy's end goal is still, I'm just
Smash
gonna I'm
and
just
then
gonna
dip.
fuck her and dip.
Yeah.
Literally, like I know guys that are just his end goal with this girl is just I just want to fuck her and then dip and then I don't see her as a wife. I don't see her as a girlfriend. And then after probably like 2 months of him getting blue balled all the time, and then he doesn't even have any action. Like he never even made out with the girl at all.
Hmm.
After 2 months, he finally makes out with the girl, probably fucks her, etc., etc. Then after that, he just doesn't really talk to her that much. Like
Mm.
time does not dictate how safe you're gonna be. Time does not dictate how safe you're gonna be having a relationship with this person. Does not dictate how safe you are from being getting kidnapped from this person. It's more so like you just shoot your darts and see like how like the spread.
Mm. Let me ask you this. So, like, do you think another reason that might be is like girls kind of just like playing harder to get? So, like, you know how guys mostly want things they can't have? Do you think that might be a factor into it as well? But I do,
I think yeah, I do think so. Some girls like they purposely try to act hard or get so that they could make the guy think that they're loyal, or they would make the guy want them more,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even both. But I think a vast majority is when you meet guys online, it's all about safety, and that's why they want to see if this guy's interested in or capable of texting her for like a week or 2 weeks time before meeting up. Like literally, like guys, I'm asking all the guys that are watching this video, girls that you get matched with, are they ever able to meet up like the next day? Like if assuming she's not busy at all, assuming she's like super free,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like she doesn't have work on the weekdays, you know, she's just going to school, she's just in college. Like assuming all this, has a girl ever said to you that you match with on a dating app? Has she ever said to you, "Yeah, I'm okay to meet up like tonight. I'm okay to meet up tomorrow."
No,
Maybe,
I think
maybe,
the quickest is maybe like a week or the weekend of. Like if we start talking Monday and talk all the way to Friday,
yeah.
like that's the earliest for me.
And some guys might be thinking, "Yeah, I have." And I'll tell my experience.
Oh,
I have, I met some girls that are down like meet up right now,
mm.
and then come straight to my house right now. First time I met this chick was
Oh
at
wait,
my house.